So here we have two notebooks. One is by Moleskine and the other one is not by Moleskine. So this one clearly is the knockoff, and they've even managed to, copy the style. The knockoff notebook is by Burke Stationery. I did not notice that before. Anyway, I'm just going to compare the two quickly and see which one is better. So the Legendary notebook has 192 pages, acid-free paper. Moleskine, 240 plain pages, acid-free paper. So already the knockoff notebook is not a direct clone. They both to be of the same size, but the thickness of them is quite a bit different. See, the thickness of the Legendary notebook, despite having less pages, is actually a bit thicker. This is because the Legendary notebook has 100 GSM paper, while the Moleskine, I'm pretty sure, only has a 70 GSM paper. So it'll be interesting to see how ink manages to, yes, let's just take these out. Let's open up the Legendary notebook. Which is a big claim for a Chinese company that's only been around for a few years. Oh look, the included little extras like a protractor and some kind of diameter thing. Oh yes, line weights, very useful. So the paper in the Legendary notebook feels, pretty nice, I must say. Nothing to complain about, except maybe when I ordered this one and I opened it up, I discovered that the corner just here was a bit dented, as you can probably see. And I feel sorry for the seller who packed it, because he did try, or they did try, to pack it in a way that it would not get dented. They put it in two heavy-duty black bubble wrap bags, but the shipping company just must launch them out of a cannon or something, but besides that, there's no obvious defects on the paper or anything. Paper is, it's thin, smooth paper. It's not like really thin though. It's a bit, you can feel it's a bit thicker than regular, like copy paper. Elastic strap works well. I've noticed that on some areas, the finishing touches leaves a little bit to be desired. Yeah, odd. I don't know if you can see that, but there's some strange black marks on the back of this book. Black circular marks. What could have caused that? The Legendary notebook also comes with one of those expandable pockets. Oh, you could almost put another notebook in there. Oh, okay, so let's open up the Moleskine. I don't know why, but whenever I start recording a video, everything and everyone starts making as much noise as they possibly can. Must just be a fact of life. And then people start ringing me up as well. Let's open up the Moleskine. Apparently, the history of Moleskine is inside somewhere. This notebook has been to means of transport, countries, visit. Okay, so there's quite a nice finish to it. The finish is very different. The Legendary notebook has more of a rubbery texture to it. This one is more smooth. In case of loss, please return to something. As a reward, I wish they didn't put that there, because now, if you don't want to give a reward, people will feel cheated, won't they? You might have to rub that out. Oh wow, the paper does feel a lot thinner. That's really thin paper. Oh, what's that? A little black spot. Didn't pay for that, did I? An extra black spot. Ah, here's the history of Moleskine. This must be it. Oh. Well, the expandable pocket is made out of more than just mere paper, it seems. It's got these little, looks like some nylon sides on it. Now, I was going to read to you the history of Moleskine, but it's rather long-winded, so I might just translate all of the marketing mumbo-jumbo out of it. So for over a century, a small French bookbinder supplied stationery shops in Paris with a small black notebook. And then, unfortunately, in 1986, they went out of business. Then, in 1997, a completely unrelated Italian company decided to copy the style of notebook and mass-produce them with the help of Chinese labour. And then, to pretend that it had some kind of heritage with the ones that used to be made in France, they named their entire company after the nickname author Bruce Chatwin named the original French notebook. So I know I've been calling the green notebook from China a knockoff, but I suppose technically they both are. So hey, there's a bit of missing like paper here. Just there, look at that. Now I hope that whippersnipper in the background isn't annoying you too much. Just imagine it's some peaceful, relaxing music, some kind of, So the reason why I got these two books, these two plain journals, is because I like to keep a diary. Dear Diary, today I got out of bed and then I ate food. It was a good day. And I ordered this one first, as it was only 20 Australian dollars, including postage. But as I was waiting for it to come in the mail, I was looking at the tracking information and it looked like it wouldn't be here for a couple of months or something. So I was getting a bit impatient. So I ordered this genuine Moleskine from a seller in Australia for only about, I think it was 24 Australian dollars. So the genuine Moleskine only cost me $4 more than the knockoff. That whippersnipper is getting closer, isn't it? It's coming to get me. Anyway, so, but the paper is so much thinner. Look, it fits almost 50 pages more in a space which is quite thinner. Look at that. So the deciding factor will be how well the paper can cope with some fountain pen ink. So the fountain pen ink I'm using is the platinum carbon ink. Now what's happening with that whippersnipper? Sounds like he's trying to chop down a tree with it. Reserve a page at the back for a bit of testing. A bit of ink testing. Test page. So let's see what's on the other side. Oh yes. You can easily see the writing through the other side of the page. In fact, I can even see a vague amount of bleeding through the page already. It's not like I held the fountain pen on the paper for a really long period of time. What is that? He's trying to rotary hoe with the whippersnipper now, is he? What's he doing? In fact, let's do a great big long obnoxious full stop right here. If I just leave it on the paper for a while and let it go. See, that wasn't that long. And we can see here, it has bled. It has bled straight through the page because it's so unbelievably thin. So maybe fountain pens aren't the best for this particular Moleskine notebook. 70 GSM paper. Let's try a different kind of pen, just a regular ballpoint pen, the Uni Jetstream. See, there's no actual bleeding through the page, as you can see. The page is still so thin that you can still see the writing through the other side. 100 GSM paper, okay. That is a big, big difference. Let's do a great big long full stop on the legendary notebook. Interesting. The paper on the legendary notebook also doesn't absorb the ink like a sponge either. Doesn't bleed as much. Very nice. The legendary notebook is also whiter as well. if you like that. I don't know. Not everyone likes really white paper. What is my conclusion? Yeah, I much prefer the paper on the Legendary notebook just because it's a bit thicker and it doesn't absorb the ink as much. It doesn't bleed. But the Moleskine certainly has a much higher quality finish to it. And you can also get paper for the Moleskine which is quite a lot thicker than 70 GSM. I mean, even though it's more expensive, I still find tiny little imperfections on it. You know, like the Legendary as well. So I don't know if it's actually worth the higher asking price. I know this particular one here I got was only $4 more, but that's only because it was on, well, that was a particularly good buy, really. Usually, in Australia, they're about $16 more than this one here. Like there's a, I don't know, there's a bit of glue just here for some reason. Let's get that off. Bit of a smudge of something there. This one has vastly much greater imperfections just all over it, plus a slight dent. The paper certainly isn't as neat on the edge there. You can see where it's been cut to shape. The hard covers both seem quite sturdy. The pocket and the Moleskine is certainly of better quality. The elastic is much the same. The bookmarks are kind of similar, although the cheaper one just frays at the end for some reason, don't know why. So Moleskine have gone to the extra effort of actually stitching the end of their bookmark. So you can buy a slightly cheaper version of a Moleskine from China if you can cope with the slight imperfections it has all over it and the occasional banged corner or something. But I'm quite happy with this one. I'm quite happy with the Moleskine too. Just the pages are a bit too thin for a fountain pen anyway. Otherwise it's fantastic. So yeah, goodbye.